I still don't know what shocked me more. The fact that my mom actually thought it was appropriate to hand my daughter a deodorant in front of everyone at her birthday party, or the way she smiled, proudly as if she had just given her the greatest gift ever. It wasn't even the deodorant that stung. It was the note taped to it, 5 stupid words written in her handwriting, use it to make friends. I swear the room went silent in a way that didn't even feel real. My daughter's little face fell. Everyone stared, and all I could think was this the moment my mother finally went too far? Was I wrong for what I did next? Because the truth is, I didn't react calmly. I didn't smile it off. I didn't pretend it was a misunderstanding. I snapped, and I still don't know if I should feel guilty about it. So tell me, would you have done the same thing? To fully understand why this ridiculous, humiliating moment hit me so hard, I need to tell you how things had been leading up to that day. Because this wasn't just an innocent joke gone wrong. This wasn't a grandmother who accidentally said the wrong thing. This was the final drop in a bucket that had been overflowing for years. My mom had always been difficult, critical, controlling, the kind of woman who mistakes cruelty for honesty and manipulation for love. Growing up, nothing I did was good enough. If I won an award, she'd say someone else must have worked harder. If I got a compliment, she'd question whether the person really meant it. If I gained weight, I heard about it. If I lost weight, I heard about that too. And when I became a mother myself, instead of softening, instead of becoming a nurturing grandma who adored her granddaughter, she somehow became even worse. My daughter, Lily, was the sweetest kid you could imagine, kind, artistic, thoughtful, always trying to make people laugh. But she was also shy, sensitive. She took after me in ways that made my mother roll her eyes every chance she got. "She needs thicker skin," was her favorite phrase. "She's too soft. Kids will eat her alive." I used to brush off the comments, but as Lily grew older, I started noticing how my mom treated her. Little digs at her personality, her quietness, even at her clothes. Nothing extreme enough to scream abuse, but enough to sting, enough to plant seeds of insecurity, and I hated it. Her 11th birthday was supposed to be perfect. I planned it for weeks. Balloons, decorations, a cake she designed herself with pastel colors and butterflies. Her friends were there, her cousins were there, and she was so happy, running around in her lavender dress, the one she had begged me to buy. Everything felt light and good, and for once I thought maybe, my mom would behave. She walked in late, of course, making sure everyone noticed her arrival, carrying a gift bag covered in glitter. She hugged Lily stiffly, kissed her cheek, then looked at me and said, "Let's see if she actually likes this one." That should have been my warning. Hours passed before the gift opening. Kids sat in a semicircle, excitement buzzing through the room. Lily opened dolls, art supplies, a new hoodie, a stuffed fox her best friend gave her. Everyone clapped and cheered. Then she picked up my mom's bag. I expected something weird. Maybe clothes Lily wouldn't like, or a book meant for someone twice her age, but not this. Not that. She pulled out a bottle of deodorant. Pink, cheap, the kind you buy at a pharmacy. And for a second, I thought maybe my mom had put something else in the bag, and Lily was just grabbing the wrong thing. But then Lily saw the note. She peeled it off slowly, and I saw her eyebrows knit together as she read it. Then she froze, completely still. Her eyes dropped to her lap, and she swallowed hard the way she does when she's trying not to cry. That was when I leaned forward and took the note out of her hand. 5 words, a punch to the gut, use it to make friends. I looked at my mom, expecting at least a hint of guilt. A flicker of embarrassment, something, but no. She was smiling like she had just solved some great mystery. Like she had done something noble, and when her eyes met mine, she shrugged and said, "Well, someone had to tell her, Kids talk, you know. The air was gone from the room. The other parents looked horrified. Kids glanced awkwardly at Lily. My sister covered her mouth, and my daughter, my baby, sat there hugging her knees, staring at the floor. Something inside me snapped. Years of snide comments, passive-aggressive advice, controlling behavior, judgment, everything boiled to the surface at once. But before I tell you what I said, what I did, and how it blew up the entire party, let me pause for a moment and ask you, what would you have done in my place? If you were watching your child be humiliated in front of a room full of people by your own mother, would you stay quiet? Would you laugh it off? Would you confront her later in private? Or would you do exactly what I did? I want you to think about that for a second and comment what you would have done, because this is where the story really turns. So, here's what happened next. I stood up, slowly, calmly, too calmly. My voice didn't even shake when I said, "Mom, what is wrong with you?" The room was dead silent. My mom blinked at me like I was the one being dramatic. "What?" she said. "It's a joke, and anyway, she's at that age. She should start caring about hygiene. I'm helping her." Helping. That was the word she always used when she was being cruel, helping. I held the deodorant in one hand and the note in the other and said, "You ruined her birthday. For what? A joke you thought was clever?" She rolled her eyes and said, "Don't be so sensitive. She'll thank me later." That set me off. I said things I'd been holding back for years. I told her she had always belittled me, always made me feel like nothing I did was good enough, and I would not, under any circumstances, allow her to do the same thing to my daughter. I told her she needed to leave now. She laughed, actually laughed, and said, "You're overreacting. It's deodorant, not a weapon." I walked over to the door, opened it, pointed outside, and said, "Get out." Gasps echoed behind me. My mom's face turned red, not with shame, but fury. "You're choosing her feelings over reality," she snapped. "The world won't cater to her. She needs to toughen up." And that was when Lily finally stood up. Tears streaming down her face, voice trembling, she said, "Nana, I do have friends." My mom stared at her coldly and replied, "Not enough." That was it. I grabbed my mom's arm, not roughly, but firmly, and guided her toward the door. She protested, said I was humiliating her, said everyone would think she was a monster, said I would regret this. But I didn't care. I shut the door behind her and locked it. Then I turned around to find Lily crying silently in my sister's arms. I canceled the rest of the party. Parents understood. Some even hugged me on the way out. My sister stayed to help clean up while Lily went to her room, refusing cake, refusing presents, refusing everything. That night, I lay next to her until she fell asleep, her cheeks still damp with tears. My heart broke thinking about how she must have felt embarrassed, confused, ashamed, wondering if she really smelled bad, if her friends really thought that, if her own grandma saw her that way. The next day, my mom called me. I didn't pick up. She texted paragraph after paragraph about how I had overreacted, how I owed her an apology, how she had been raising kids long before I was born, how she was only trying to help. Then she played victim, saying I humiliated her in front of family and friends, saying she should cut me out for my disrespect. I didn't reply. I didn't trust myself to. Days passed. Lily slowly went back to her cheerful self, but there was a new layer of insecurity when she talked about school or her friends. She asked me quietly one night, "Do you think I smell bad?" I hugged her so tight she squeaked. "No," I said. "You are perfect, you are clean, you are beautiful, and you don't ever have to change yourself to make someone like you." She nodded, but I could tell the wound was still fresh. My mom didn't come around for weeks. Then one day she showed up at my door unannounced, no apology, no remorse. She walked in like nothing had happened and said she was ready to move past the drama. I told her she wasn't welcome until she acknowledged what she'd done. She scoffed and said, "You can't keep me away from my granddaughter." I told her, "Watch me." It turned into a full-blown fight. She yelled, I yelled. She cried, I didn't. She said I was poisoning Lily against her. I said she did that herself. She said children need criticism to grow. I said children need love to grow. She said I was too emotional. I said she was heartless. At one point she actually said, if she can't handle a joke, she'll never survive the real world. And that was when I realized she was never going to change. Not for me, not for Lily, not for anyone. So I did the hardest thing I've ever done. I told her she wasn't allowed around my daughter anymore. Not until she got therapy, not until she learned empathy, not until she understood how her actions affect people. She stormed out, slamming the door so hard a picture frame fell off the wall. Months passed with no contact. Lily healed, she made new friends, joined an art club, got better at speaking up for herself. I noticed she stood straighter, smiled more, blossomed in ways I hadn't seen before. And I realized something: removing my mom from our lives wasn't just about protecting Lily. It was about breaking a cycle. It was about ending a legacy of shame that had been passed down like a family heirloom. Eventually, my mom sent a short text. I'm sorry for how I made her feel. Not a perfect apology, but a start. I didn't rush to forgive her. I didn't let her back in immediately, but I allowed small steps, short visits. Supervised time, boundaries she had to respect, and strangely, she did. Maybe losing access to her granddaughter scared her enough to change. Maybe she realized she had crossed a line. Maybe she understood finally that love isn't supposed to hurt. Now, looking back at that birthday party, part of me wonders if I could have handled it differently, if yelling in front of everyone was the right move, if kicking her out was too harsh. But another part of me, the part that watched my daughter cry herself to sleep that night, knows I did the only thing a mother could do. I protected my child. So was I wrong for what I did? Tell me in the comments. I really want to know what you think of the whole situation. And if you were on my side, if you believe I did what any parent would have done, then please like this video. Subscribe for more stories like this and share your thoughts below. I'll see you all in the next story.